Coco Gauff's $31 million secret revealed. The incredible rise of tennis' newest superstar. It began as a whisper, then a rumor, then a headline that detonated across the tennis world like a thunderbolt. Coco Gauff hits $31 million. For a heartbeat, the sports universe stood still. Then it erupted. Fans stared at their screens in disbelief. Analysts scrambled through spreadsheets. Sponsors smiled knowingly. And Coco Gauff, calm, focused, unshaken, walked back onto the practice court as if nothing had changed. But everything had changed, because $31 million wasn't just a number. It was a declaration. Coco Gauff had crossed an invisible line, from prodigy to powerhouse, from champion to empire, and behind that number was a secret years in the making, the girl who refused to be just a talent. Coco Gauff's rise was never an accident. Yes, the world first met her as a fearless 15-year-old who shocked Wimbledon. Yes, she stunned legends with a smile too young for the moment and a backhand too mature for her age. But long before the cameras arrived, Coco had already decided something most athletes never consciously choose. She would not only win matches, she would build a legacy. While other young stars chase a spotlight, Coco learned to manage it. While the world focused on her forehand, she sharpened her mind. While fans celebrated victories, she studied defeats like textbooks. From the start, she was playing two games at once, one on the court and one for her future. The $31 million moment, why it shocked the world. When reports confirmed Coco's $31 million season, many assumed it came from one huge deal. They were wrong. The number was the result of elite tournament prize money, a historic automotive global partnership, long-term sportswear extensions, beauty and lifestyle brand expansions, digital media rights, performance-based incentives, equity-backed endorsements. This wasn't sudden wealth. This was strategic construction, piece by piece, season by season, decision by decision. The hidden architects, family, discipline, and vision. Behind every great rise is an invisible team. Coco's parents were never dazzled by money. They were builders. They designed Coco's life like a long-distance race. No shortcuts, no reckless fame, no rush stardom, only sustainability. While endorsements flooded in early, most were declined. Why? Because her family understood something rare in sports. You only get one first image. Protect it. Every contract had to match Coco's character. Every brand had to reflect her values. Every opportunity had to strengthen, not dilute, her identity. That patience would later become the foundation of her fortune. The season that changed everything. Coco's $31 million season didn't begin with fireworks. It began with quiet dominance. She arrived at the first tournament with a new confidence in her movement. Her serve carried more purpose. Her backhand came flatter, faster, deadlier. Her court positioning was ruthless. But the biggest change was invisible. She stopped trying to prove she belonged. She knew she did. The first signature win. Every legendary season has a turning point. For Coco, it arrived in a brutal 3-set war against one of the tour's most feared hitters. The rallies stretched past exhaustion. The crowd held its breath on every break point. Down match point, Coco didn't panic. She constructed points like a chess grandmaster. She extended rallies like a marathon runner. She struck with sudden violence when the opening appeared. When the final ball landed out, she raised her fist, not in shock, but in confirmation. The message was clear. This season would not be survived. It would be conquered, and the sponsorship world took notice. The rivalries that forged her value. Great money follows great conflict. Coco's season was shaped by titanic battles. Speed versus power. Youth versus experience. Athleticism versus control. Emotion versus composure. Each rivalry amplified her global reach. Every showdown broke viewership records. Every comeback flooded highlight reels. Every loss sharpened public hunger for redemption. She didn't avoid pressure. She invited it. The $31 million secret nobody talks about, self-mastery. The world credits her fitness, her speed, her defense, her maturity. But the real secret behind Coco's rise is something far rarer: self-mastery. She mastered her emotional triggers, her public image, her schedule, her recovery, her burnout risk. She learned when to push. She learned when to pause. She learned when to speak. She learned when to stay silent. In a world where many athletes burn bright and fast, Coco learned how to burn steady. That steady flame is what built $31 million. The business world joins the court. By mid-season, Coco wasn't just winning matches. She was winning boardrooms. Luxury brands restructured contracts to secure her image. Tech companies pitched performance tracking partnerships. Youth-focused brands chased her authenticity. Global corporations wanted her aura. Why? Because Coco Gauff is relatable, intelligent, fearless, media-trained, emotionally transparent, culturally powerful. She is not a brand ambassador. She is the brand. The match that multiplied millions. Late in the season came the match that changed her financial trajectory forever. 3 hours, 2 tiebreaks, 1 collapsing body, 1 unbreakable will, down a set and a break. Coco ran for balls no one expected her to reach. She turned defense into offense with desperation and brilliance fused into one. At match point, she delivered a full-speed backhand pass that froze time. The stadium exploded. Within 12 hours, her social following surged. Merchandise sales spiked. 2 endorsement offers doubled. A global brand fast-tracked negotiations. 1 match, millions added. That's the economy of greatness. The weight of sudden wealth. $31 million doesn't just bring comfort. It brings surveillance, speculation, jealousy, expectation, responsibility. Every loss now sparks debate. Every outfit becomes a statement. Every sentence becomes headline material. It's a golden cage. But Coco adapted the way she always does. With discipline, she stayed close to family. She kept her old friends. She trained when others celebrated. She protected her private life with ferocity. The spotlight never softened her focus. It sharpened it. The quiet investments that built the empire. While fans obsessed over trophies, Coco quietly invested in sports science startups, recovery technology firms, women-led wellness brands, athlete education platforms, youth mentorship programs. She wasn't spending like a celebrity. She was allocating like a founder. That's the difference between rich and powerful. The psychological transformation. In earlier years, Coco played with hope. Now she plays with ownership. She owns the baseline. She owns the crowd. She owns the pressure. She owns the moment. Opponents no longer test her talent. They test her nerve. And her nerve is now armor. The critics who were forced into silence. Once they said, she's inconsistent. She relies too much on defense. Now they say nothing. The scoreboard does the talking. So does $31 million. The $31 million secret is no longer hidden. It was never luck. It was vision, patience, and fearless execution. And if this is what her early empire looks like, the next chapter may be one of the most powerful in sports history. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.